Welcome back into the Sports Source Kickoff presented by Madisonville Marine. This segment brought to you by Games and Things. You see the website right there, ourgameroom.com, because life should be fun. All right, this segment in-depth. Lots of rumors about Dobbs' health this week, from what I understand. Butch Jones has said he's going to play. He's fine. From what I understand from folks over there, he's fine. He's going to play. But there's also been talk about a comment that Butch Jones made. As of now, Dobbs is our quarterback. There were some people that jumped on the as of now. ESPN analyst Tom Luganbill is the second person I heard this week. He said that from watching tape of Dobbs, it looks like he doesn't trust his own eyes at times, that there's some paralysis by analysis. We know he's smart. Could he be overthinking it out there? But here's my question. We're 1 week into the season, and the last time anybody was talking about this guy is, oh, he's a senior leader, he's a dark horse for the Heisman. Have we overreacted a little bit to one game, or is this just an extension of things we saw last year, therefore it's legitimate to complain this much this early? Jimmy.
I think it's kind of silly. I think there's an overreaction about it. Now, I'll say this. I didn't think he was a Heisman candidate. Now, he wouldn't be on my list. However, and he was a little bit inconsistent at times last year. When he played well, he was outstanding. I mean, he played a heck of a game against Florida, even though they lost. But he is going to have some ups and downs in the passing game because he's not consistently accurate. Again, I go back to this. Tennessee has got to get him involved in the run game. I think that helps his overall game. I think that helps him with his passing. And I think they need, at times, I think they need to take the shackles off.
Guys, is it fair to already be talking about looking at other quarterbacks and that type of stuff? Sterling, you went through one of these things. You were on the wrong side of it in 1989. Tell me about it.
But I tell you this, it's absolutely wrong to be even thinking that right now. Last week we went to the game with a limited offense, limited proportion of our Tennessee offense. And when we go to limited offense or our Tennessee offense, it limits Josh Dobbs. And what I like now, when people try to carry his consistency in the passing game from last year to this year, he's got a whole nother year with these exact same receivers. So they've got more continuity. So when that offense opens up, I believe you're going to see some real big things from Josh Dobbs in our passing game.
Mike Griffith, you got 30 seconds.
Yeah, I don't think it's too early. I think people have a right to be worried, concerned. I mean, this isn't about just getting better this year. I mean, this is the year. I mean, there is very little margin for error. An inconsistent quarterback is not going to win the SEC championship. Josh Dobbs needs to get consistent. He needs to perform better against teams like Appalachian State. And yes, it was a difficult night. And yes, there were some plays that broke down. But this is where a senior leader needs to make plays. He exhibited poor judgment. Even worse, John, he didn't take a whole lot of accountability after the game. There were some excuses about not having the ball on enough occasions in the second and third quarter.
We got a question about that coming up. I agree with you. I will say this. I think Dobbs does need to improve clearly, but I'm not going to put the whole passing game on him. The offensive line is poor or played poorly. The receivers, to me, still, if you watch college football, just 1,000 games this past weekend, in every game I saw a guy catch a 10-yard pass, make a guy miss, and he went 20 yards, 30 yards, 40 yards. When do you ever see Tennessee's receivers make a play on their own?
The report had an interesting comment about, he said that we had guys open, but the offensive line didn't give the quarterback time to throw it. He said that's where he put a lot of the blame.
All right, this time we always empty out the notebook. Jimmy, I'll start with you. Emptying the notebook for Tennessee. What do you got?
I thought Tennessee was not as disruptive on defense as I thought. The front seven didn't do as much as I thought they would. They had 0 sacks, and I heard one argument, well, Appy State was never behind the chains. Actually, they were. They had 5 third and 9s. They had 9 third and 5s, and Tennessee still wasn't able to get pressure on the quarterback. I know that Appy State at times was running draws and screens to try to take some of that pressure away. I didn't think Tennessee got to the quarterback as much or pressured as much up front. They need to be more disruptive.
Mike Griffith, you are on the Virginia Tech
you're
beat.
tough. They shut him out the last 40 minutes of the game.
Emptying the notebook.
One thing Butch Jones said I do want to add to that was that they weren't going to use Cam Sutton to shadow Isaiah Ford. And a lot of people don't know who Isaiah Ford is. He may be the best receiver in Virginia Tech history. So that's something to take a look at. Virginia Tech working on keeping Josh Dobbs contained. Game plans out. Make Josh Dobbs think and beat you with his arm.
And it's going to be, Josh Dobbs beating a Bud Foster defense with his arm. I think that's a tall order. I really do. I think that's going to be very difficult.
I like that thinking part, though, aeronautical engineer. I like that thinking part.
If you could sit out there and take a test on passing rather than having to pass, I would feel better about it. All right. When we come back, we spin the wheel. You've seen it over here. We spin the wheel. 10 quick questions, rapid fire, about Saturday's game. Come on back on the Sports Source Kickoff, presented by Madisonville Marine.